I am the meeting host. So why do I need to have... Ah, Julie's just starting to run out, so I'm just trying to... And let's see if I can do this then. Yes, it has been updated. Fantastic. And I hope you all can see my screen.
Yep.
Yes, except for, you don't have the new header on it, but you guys know this is July 12th, right?
Yeah, my bad. Well, I think we should just take the date off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we will, because then it becomes easier. We can just roll them rather than having to do changes every single time.
Yeah.
So without apology, welcome everyone. It's the first run of the 331 system, week 1 of our 90-day challenge towards the end of September. We just launched the challenge on Saturday, and we know that if you apply the system that we have here, that is basically a duplication machine. And as you get new brand partners coming in, please invite them to actually have a look at these videos and ask them to come along to the trainings that we do have. Because we do know one thing is that this business, when it begins to duplicate, and you can get yourself out of the road and you don't have to keep on talking, you can send someone to a video. This is how this works. Anyway, my name is Knut. I'm on the top left-hand side over there. My wife, Julie, next to me. We are senior directors with LifeWave. And basically, Julie came across these patches about 16, 18 months ago. She tore her calf muscle, and a friend of hers, an acquaintance, after 3 weeks, said, hey, why don't you try this? She stuck the X39 on the back of her calf, and inside, I would say 10, maybe 30 minutes, she was walking up and down the stairs at home without any major issue. The second person, the third person here, is the all important and all knowledgeable Janet Kiefer. She's the presidential director that's been talking. You probably all know her. Janet, if you'd like to say a couple of words.
I would. Thank you, everybody. I'm really excited tonight. You know why? This is our third series of 331. And when you have something for 90 days, it's really becoming a habit. And just think of us working through this 331 system all of July, all of August, all of September. By the time the fall hits, you guys will have it in your DNA. And the fall is really the biggest quarter of the year for any company. The most products get sold in the fall through the holidays. So we're going to have such a foundation from this. So I thank Julie and Knut for really kicking us over, and they had worked with the system for a few months before we brought it through the whole team, and they've really been initiating and training with it. But here's what I'd ask you to talk to your teams about. They'll go, oh, I've seen it. Okay, can you teach it? Because until you can teach it to your downline, you don't really know it. And so I appreciate everybody who's come on. You need to hear things over and over again till it just becomes just such a deep competence. So stick with us next month. In the next month, you're going to just be so strong. So thank you again. Go ahead, Knut.
All righty. Thank you, Janet. The key here, with Julie and I, we have a background from another network marketing company, and they had a massive system, and it was simple, it was quick, it was duplicatable. So when we got on board early last year, mid last year, I went looking for a system. We were going, hang on, this is not running as fast, it's not as predictable, it is not as, shall we say, easy to roll out to people. It's like you think that you need to have a PhD in this before you start going, and to be honest, no, you don't. In fact, be ignorance on fire is what I'd like to say to people. But there are some core principles that you really need to hone in on, because when you get to master those, as Janet said, if you can get to master those core skills, and it's like 331 happens, so you know you're unconsciously incompetent in something, because we spend like 12 years, year 1 through to year 12 at school. That's like 14,000 hours where they educate us to be a worker. to have a job, a job. So if you haven't been in a network marketing business in the past, or you have been involved, but there hasn't been a system, that is the biggest challenge, to change your brain. And I'm not saying that you have to, but if you would like to have a predictable outcome and a predictable result, then why not fail our way first? It boggles my mind when I see very smart people going, oh, I think I'm going to do it my way. Okay, fine. That's not a problem. It is your business. And this is the key. You have your own business, but you're not in business on your own. You have a team above you that is more than willing and able to help you achieve what you want. I like to use the analogy of a chocolate cake, or a banana cake, or a bread pudding, or whatever, and you have the best recipe ever, and you know the ingredients, but you kind of don't know the sequence to put them into the bowl. What you tend to get if you don't know the sequence, you get not what you expected, is all I can say. So the 3-3-1 system is super simple. It is quick, it's duplicatable. It focuses on X39. Yes, I know we have a stack load of other patches, but the whole key here is, if you focus on one thing and one thing only, you get very, very, very good at it. And that is what we would like for you to achieve. And that's why we have the system. We focus on the silver value pack or above, and we can help people either pay for their own patches, their own consumption, or maybe add $100, $200, $300 to or more to their weekly, monthly income stream. And that is so super, super exhilarating and so much fun when you see that happen, and you see the smile on someone's face who happen to get a bonus that week of, say, $500 extra on top of what they're earning in their pay packet. It is so much fun. So the system is very simple, as we said. Ask, share, give. Contact or speak with or approach 3 people a day. That could be an email, it could be a text, it could be picking up the phone and speaking with someone, or you can meet someone at the store. I personally, I never, ever, ever go out to shop. I go out to meet people, and I shop on the way through. I want to go out and have dinner somewhere. Well, I go out to meet people and have dinner on the way. And I think from our team that came to Aruba, I'm kind of smiling about it now, because I don't even think that I'm doing it. We were sitting at dinner. I had to use the restroom, and on my way back, I see this guy sitting at the table, and I just started talking to him. He was sitting there and it was on. So yes, we were having dinner, but in my mind, my subconscious mind, I'm going, oh, I need to meet people. So you're subconsciously incompetent, then you become consciously incompetent, then you become consciously competent, and then finally you become subconsciously competent. It is easy to meet people. You just build it into your DNA. And then you basically work on the principle of inviting one person a day to a webinar or a podcast. It is a challenge, because we think, oh, what will they think? What will they say? And so forth. And it's a skill I yet have to master. I keep on inviting people, but I also come to the conclusion that if I only invite one person a day, chances are that I'm not going to get a good result. There's an old adage, if you want one to attend, invite 3. It's that simple. But the system is 3-3-1, and you will get some hits. You will get some hits, and you're building up a muscle that is then going to serve you for the rest of your time when you are in this business. The 3-3-1 system is basically the 3 Ps. You pique the interest, you pre-qualify, and then there's a podcast/package selection. But what we're going to be talking about today is the first one: how to pique someone's interest, how to connect with someone. So remember, guys, this is it's a courtship process. You do not go out, or I probably would be inclined to say this with a certain amount of certainty, You go out and you meet a person, say your other half, your better half. Chances are that in the first 3 minutes of meeting them, you never said to them, hey, will you want to marry me? It took a little bit of like a dance, going back and forth. It is building a relationship, and this is what the Pique thing is all about. So if you roll that forward, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of my own slides here. So once you have piqued the interest, you pre-qualify them. And once you pre-qualify them, we'll cover this more in the next session. But the whole idea is that you're building on the platform of the rapport you build through the piquing. And then finally, there's a podcast that you invite them to, or a package selection. What I find personally is that if I've done number 1, the Pique, and I've done number 2, the pre-qualify, I will always have people come in on the silver value pack and above. Since we started this, I can think of one person that we have had that came in on the bronze pack. That's it. We haven't even had a preferred customer come in. We are rolling the silver value pack and above. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, you have to create or pique the interest. So how do you go about finding people, reaching out to people, connecting with people? First step in everything, if you're in business and you want to grow this, is that you got to have a list. How are you going to reach out to initially, I call them lukewarm prospects or candidates? These are people that I know. It's my inner circle. It is my friends, my family, and simple lines to meet people, to pique interest. We'll go through some of them in a minute. But people who know you or know of you, and you are in their phone and you have their number in your phone, or they're on Facebook, or you're connected in one of the social networking applications. Why would we be afraid? This is kind of funny. I had a former colleague reach out to me yesterday, as a matter of fact. I have known this lady since 1992, 1993. Thereabouts. Yes, 1993. Last time I saw this lady was 17 years ago in England. But we've been friends on Facebook. We don't talk a lot on Facebook or anything like that. It's just like every now and then it's a connection. But she reached out to me yesterday and we had a half-an-hour conversation on the phone. Her son is moving to Florida to study. The 2 twins that we met in England that were just born, sitting in a pub outside London, are now 17 years old. And funny thing is, her son said to his mom, Pushpa, her name is, really good English name. He goes, are you still friends with him? She goes, hell yeah. Pardon my expression there. Yes, because we stay in touch. It's not as if we are in each other's pockets, but we have known each other for such a long time and what's been going on in their lives that you can reach out to them and you can talk to them. She has some issues and she's looking at some of the videos now. But how, it was just on Facebook. So I would suggest that you take your cell phone out or your Facebook and you grab yourself a notebook like this. I hope you can all see that. And you start writing down names, maybe write down 10 names a day. Then you find a way to approach them. We have some lines for that later on. The key here is the faster you go through your list, and I'm saying this, the size of your network determines the size of your net worth. If you want to build this business and you want to grow it, even if you just want to cover the cost of your own patches, you have to share this with someone. And that's why we have these list sources that we're talking about here. What do people want? Because now you're beginning to pique someone's interest. if you have spoken with someone, they are out, let's say, I've started going with a men's team, former military. We go running 2 miles every Monday morning, and we do a fair bit of exercises. And you get to know people, and you kind of go, well, how's things going? How's business? These are driven, motivated guys. And then they go, I have this problem with this, I have this problem with that. I said, okay, fine. Have you ever heard of X, like X39, or have you ever heard anything about stem cells activation? They go, nah. Now we're finding some goals, we're finding some hooks, we're piquing someone's interest. But keep your antennas up for the extra income to pay for the patches. Keep are people approaching retirement age and they need to supplement or augment the 401k. In Australia, we call this a superannuation. I don't have no idea personally where my superannuation 401k is or how much it is, because I've been living in so many countries and so many places. I would probably say they're shot to pieces. Do you know anyone who has pain or in chronic illness? Again, one thing that I have found is that most people will never open up their trap at work about ailments, open up their mouth about ailments. Another example, case in hand, is a guy that I've been working with for 10 years. I just ask innocent, so what are you doing for the weekend? He goes, well, it's going to get too hot to get my wife out of the wheelchair. I'm going, ding, ding, ding. I said, Dan, what's up? He goes, oh, she's been in a wheelchair for 10 or 12 years, major problem with nerve issues down her legs. And I'm going, okay. I've never heard that before. Do they know a lot of people? Do they love network marketing? There's a number of people who have been in network marketing for a long time, but maybe some of their issues that come up, it's become a commodity, the products that they used to sell. I mean, anyone can run down to any of the supermarkets these days and buy washing powder at a fraction of the cost that some of the other companies offer them. Maybe it's vitamins, whether it's skincare, whether it's protein powder. They are a commodity. We have something very, very unique. So the first...
Before you go on, could you go back to the last slide, please? We have lots of wonderful leaders here on the call. And do you sit down with your new brand partner and help them construct a list? You might think, oh, I've got my list, but our role as kind of the mentor is, let's sit down with them and start thinking through their list, right? And then help them understand, well, what are these people's motivators? It's really helpful for you to step up and guide them, especially for people who've never done this before, because they're a bit overwhelmed and I got to pique their interest and I don't know what to talk about. I know some of you do very consistently, but if you're just coming on board with us, do get with your upline and let's work this together. We are a team. Thank you.
Just to clarify the language here, the upline is typically the person who introduced you into this. And when they do so, I would pray for you that they're taking the time to figure out what you want. I pray for you that they're taking the time to figure out what are you hoping to achieve yourself by using these patches. Because chances are, if they don't, you're going to end up on a low-level package, like a bronze package. And you ain't going to be able to have the patches to help other people. Oh, I'll try it. Well, that tells me that the person who introduced you have not done enough of the asking part, the peaking part. And what that mean, I mean that, okay, so what's going on with you? Okay, you have seen maybe the videos on startx39now.com. That's not enough. Oh, that looks kind of interesting. Yeah, right, I'll try it for a month. No. Let's wind the clock back here and ask, Okay, so you find it interesting. What did you like the best about the videos? Ah, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Okay, what does that mean? What are you hoping that they can achieve for you? What are you hoping it can help you with? And I find here that the longer we take in terms of piquing the interest, and we're sliding slightly into the pre-qualification, but I gotta have a hook. I gotta have to find something that is of interest to people, because until it's personal, they ain't gonna move. So how do we go about that? If I haven't seen a friend for a long time, like Pushpa, so what's going on with you? Oh, I have this, I have that, I'm super stressed. Kids are heading to college. One is going to university in Florida, in Tampa. We're going away for 3 weeks, and I get the whole story in 20 minutes. I didn't say a word. It was like almost like, oh, meaning, how come, why? Like just filling questions. Now I'm getting a picture of what's going on in her life with herself. The 3 kids, well, one is 19 going on 20, the others are 17, and her husband. I went to their wedding in England in 1993 or 94, thereabouts. I'm taking the time. If I try to rush through this, it ain't going to work. It is the personal connection that takes place here. Even if I've known the person for a long time, what has happened in the last 2 years, 3 years? If I'm out and about and I see someone walking around on crutches, they have a boot on their leg, or it might be to camouflage maybe like a GPS tracking device for jail or something like that, but more often than not, they have a pain somewhere. But give a compliment. Hey, that's nice shoes. In fact, yesterday I met this guy at the supermarket. He had a super cool shirt on. It was lovely colors, everything else. And hey, dude, that is a super shirt. Where did you get it? 2 sentences later, so what do you do? Oh, well, my HR director for so-and-so. I go, really? Huh. Do you enjoy it? And we're building a rapport. I sent him a text message to startx39now.com. He goes, that is super interesting. What's the bottom line dollars to get going? Hello? What did I do? I just complimented someone on a shirt in a supermarket. So it is easy when you can go with this, for example, this line. I finally found something to help me with my high blood pressure, my pulled muscle, my back pain. I finally found something that sets up an additional income stream. Of course, I had kind of pre-qualified him. He doesn't like what he's doing. I finally found something that can help me set up a side gig and an extra income stream. And he went, tell me more. It is being Johnny on the spot. It's being able to communicate with people, meet people, and just don't be afraid to reach out. I mean, if I offered you the best piece of chocolate cake ever made on this planet, and you happen to say, no, I'm not interested in chocolate cake. Well, do you stop being my friend? No. And that is why I think it's so kind of funny that we're so hesitant in reaching out to people. Another line here, I come across something that's the holy grail of natural healing and regenerative health. I hope you all have pens and paper and you're taking these down. We're going to have it up on YouTube in the next 2 or 3 hours. It takes about 3 hours for YouTube to upgrade the quality of the video. So probably by tomorrow morning. If you haven't got the time, you haven't got a pen and paper, pull out your phone, take a picture. You can text this bottom line here to anyone. Dr. Stacy, who's an SPD, Senior Presidential Director in this business in LifeWave, she used this line for virtually all the contacts that she had to reach to the level of Senior Presidential Director. She literally used Facebook Messenger and sent this message out. She actually used a voicemail message, said, hey, it's Dr. Stacy, how you doing? Hey, I come across something that's the holy grail of natural healing and regenerative health. I know you're interested in alternatives. I know, and so forth. If you're interested, I was thinking about gifting you some samples. Get back with me. and we can have a chat. That's it. Another line here. What have you heard about stem cells? Have you heard about the latest advancements in stem cell technology? Do not try to explain what this is in front of people. You're going to be eaten alive. Do this remote. Use these lines and say, hey, reach out to me if you would like to have more information. I would not send startx39now.com to a cold prospect. I would have some sort of a peaking, some sort of a connection with people before I do that. Yeah, another story. I found an ad in a local women's paper here in Florida. A doctor advertising natural health. I thought, okay, I'll try to call him. 5-6 times I called him, no answer. I said to Julie, she was out and about. I said, hey, Julie, could you spin past this address, see whether he's still in business? The ad was, what, 2 years old. She drives past, sure enough, he's still in business. She gets to talk to his assistant. And Julie says, well, my husband's been trying to get hold of him and so forth. Assistant takes my number. 10 minutes later, my phone goes, and it's the doctor. And he goes, well, and ask him, have you got any stem cell services in your practice? He goes, nah, we focus more on other things. I said, well, have you heard about the latest advancements in stem cell technology? He goes, what do you mean? Well, have you heard about wearable phototherapies? He goes, no. Okay, what have you heard about stem cells? Well, he goes, well, I know that so-and-so. I said, well, what do you know about pluripotent stem cells? This is not your normal conversation. This is an advanced conversation. But he goes, you really? I said, yeah. Would you mind if I actually sent you some information by email and you can research it? He goes, absolutely. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'm an international, what should we say, teacher of doctors in my field across the world. I don't know whether anything will come of it, but just these simple lines. What have you heard about stem cells? Have you heard about the latest advancements? They are so powerful. Now we're beginning to build the bridge that relationships walk over. They can drive across. But I've got to find a way that I have some vested personal interest in all of this. I hope this makes sense. But you have to walk slowly through the crowd. You cannot skip these steps. If you do, you end up more often than not with either a preferred customer, not that that's wrong, but you would like someone that you can help pay for their run patches. You need to build that rapport. You need to build that relationship. If you don't do this, you're going to end up with preferred customers or bronze members, bronze packages. Now you have to go around, try to get them on auto-ship or on subscription services. And I find that when, as I said, in the last 3 months, we have signed one on bronze because they did the research themselves. We find that when they're on silver value pack, maybe 2 X39s and 2 Eons, the dynamic duo, it is amazing what happens when you come back in after 4 to 6 weeks and say, you're probably running out, and I've checked in with them before, you're probably running out. Why don't we put you on the subscription service so you never run out of patches? And they go, yeah, sure, that would be great. Piquing the interest, we're staying with that. And I hope I'm not speaking too fast, but my standard go-to after, hey, nice to meet you, that's a beautiful dog, nice shoes, beautiful necklace, compliment, find something to talk about. Next thing is, so what do you do? It might be a question in front of that. If you notice that they have an accent, they're out of town. So where are you from? Okay, cool, great. So what do you do? And inevitably, if people have any social skills at all, which is sometimes interesting with some people, they will ask you, so what do you do? oh, I'm in the cell activation business. Or Julie and I will say, well, we have a stem cell technology business. And people go, wow. We met a couple of judges in the town next to where we live. And we were having dinner. They were sitting there talking, had a beautiful little dog. We started talking. So what do you do? Oh, we're judges in the state capital. Okay. How long have you been doing that? Oh, okay. What do you guys do? Oh, we have a stem cell technology business. Really? I said, yeah. We help people heal and repair their own bodies. Can you help me with my sore, what should we say? Sore nerve going down my leg? And I have a bad shoulder. I can't really raise my arm. So, sure, we can probably help you with that. Let's exchange phone numbers. We're at dinner, or we can then speak a little bit later. That's how easy it is. Sometimes they see a patch sitting on my arm. If I can't get anywhere, I'll just ask the question straightforward. Have you seen one of these before? And they go, what is that? Is that a tobacco patch or something like that? No. I'm actually activating my own stem cell. I'm reactivating my own stem cells. And they go, oh, how do you do that? Well, tell you what, I can send you a short video and so forth, so forth, so forth. And that's what we then do. We send them a link. I stop talking. I cannot stress this enough. Stop talking. You give away too much information, you get cornered, you get flustered, and you think, well, I have to say this, or I have to say that, or should I say this, or should I say that? You talk them in, and then you talk them out equally as fast. Stop talking, pretty please, with sugar on. And I think it's part of our educational system that we've been trained through 12 years plus that we've got to know the answers to all the questions. No, you don't. In fact, the less you say, the more you gain. Because if you can tap them into the system, of which Start X39 now, or startx39.com, we're a part of, we can use. Now, would you like to be able to, and I'm asking you kindly to consider this. If you could send out 10 texts after having approached someone to startx39now.com or startx39.com, and they can take 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or an hour exploring that site, you can send out 10 messages in the space of 10 minutes. And instead of spending 45 minutes on a phone trying to explain how this works with 10 people, which one do you want? You have 10 minutes sending 10 messages, or you have 45 minutes times 10, that's 450 minutes. You're talking about 7 hours, 7.5 hours of time consumed. Which one do you want? Which one is duplicatable? Which one can you make yourself redundant in? Because that's why we want a system. That's why we have a system. And I'm so grateful that we have been able to find this, that we can leverage these sources and resources, because it makes our life predictable. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I definitely don't have to create the gunpowder. And when we can leverage and we can find this and it works around the system, Start X39 is available in more than 100 languages. If you meet someone who's, say, from Korea, you can send them to startx39.com. In the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little button that says language. They can actually move over and select Korean. Tidbit of information, a little bit of fun fact. The language in Korea is called Hangul. And here's a fun fact. I spent some time in Asia. I traveled extensively in Asia through work. The nearest language to Korean in the language around the world linguistically is Finnish from Northern Europe. I have no idea how that happened, but it's crazy. Anyway, so that was just a fun fact. We're coming back to the pre-qualification and the peaking of the interest. How do you think or hope it can help you with whatever's going on? Now you're setting the hook. This is like fishing. You have the bopper in the water, you have a bait at the end of the hook, and you're just bopping it. And you can feel someone nibbling. As soon as you feel someone nibbling, that is not the time to pull as hard and fast as you can on the line. This is where you build a relationship. Most people like, or in fact, everybody likes to talk about themselves. So although somebody is a little bit more reticent or shy compared to other people. But when you start asking, how is that affecting you? How is that affecting your time with your kids, with your grandkids? How about being able to go out on vacation? Now you're beginning to tap into the emotional side, because now they realize that you have a genuine interest in helping them. And I will personally, Julie and I will personally never, ever move on to anything until we've figured out how we can help them and or someone that they love that has having that issue. We will never, ever do that. Did I say never, ever? Because until we can figure out what's going on, I cannot send them a testimonial. In fact, I sometimes want to send 2 or 3 testimonials. If you go to the Evolve Testimonial Telegram app on Telegram, it is, I think it have more than 3,000 testimonials in there. You can search for anything virtually and you will find a hit. This is the pre-qualification and the peaking of the interest. They are combined, but one follows the other. And until you get this thing happening, you are going to burn yourself out, because you're just going to sign up. No offense, preferred customers. Yes, they're good. You got to get them on, but you ain't going to get a rank up. You're not going to rank up from preferred customers. It doesn't matter what. If you have an interest of ranking up to manager, director, senior director, and above, you got to have brand partners. And when you have brand partners, you can help your new brand partner setting up for having their patches, their own consumption of the patches paid for. So here's a checklist. Are you asking what's going on? Are you asking, oh, that must be tough. How are you dealing with that? Oh, have you tried any alternatives? Are you open to natural healing? For example, there are more than 600,000 knee replacements done in the US every single year. That's $3.5+ billion just in doctor's fees, not to mention extra fees that goes out to recuperation. There are fees that goes out to people having to modify their working style. They might have to stop playing golf. What impact does that have on people? Oh, it didn't quite work. Well, do you want to have another piece of surgery, or are you going to live with the pain for the rest of your life? We have ways that we can help with the pain, and we have ways that we can help with, should we say, pre-surgery. We actually have ways and means that we can help. We know this through clinical trials and number of testimonials, that we can help with the cartilage in the knees. The doctors don't want to hear it because we're taking away revenue from them. But if we have our heart and compassion in the right place, I say, well, have you got anything to lose really by trying this for 3 to 6 months? And they go, well, no. I mean, you can always have the surgery in 9 months. But what if we can help you with the pain right now? And there's a very high degree of a probability that we can help you to reduce or eliminate the problem. Can't say that I can fix it. I mean, can't say that I'm going to heal it. But if you can alleviate the pain and make you get to a space where you can actually get down on the floor and play with your grandchildren. Sharing the testimonials, invite people to come on the podcast that we're running the opportunity meeting Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 8 p.m., Wednesdays at 2 p.m. We have this training session here. We have a number of functions that you can invite people to. This is how this works.
Just relax, Charlie. Just relax. I love you.
Well, that's very kind of you. And close with a silver and above pack. You got to take the time. Leadership is walk slowly through the crowd. Work slowly through the crowd. Take the time, connect with people.
Canute, may I offer something? I had a great discussion with one of the members that's on today, and Julie, and we were talking about the silver and above pack. And for people just beginning the 331 system, I really encourage you to start there for another reason. It's truly what helps people best. We know that the patches, the X39 takes a good 3 months. We know they're working from day one, but that's at the DNA level, right? You all know what happens over 3 months with people's changes in faces. So I'll tell someone, I realize you may just want to try it. You just
It's
might
a point.
want. Pardon me, Lori, could you mute, please? I appreciate that you may want to just try a month, but honestly, I don't want to take your money. And I tell them that, keep your $100. I don't want to take it. You need to have 3 months for this to be a viable sample for you to see what it can do. And if you're willing to put the patches on each day, you're going to see amazing changes over the next 90 days. And pretty much, I'm at probably 100% of people who sign up on silver because I told them the reason. And I actually did what's called a takeaway. I want to pull it away from them because we know in a month they're not going to see or feel what you've just told them, right? So just be confident, have posture. You know it's the right thing to do for them. Thank you, Canute.
No worries at all. Thank you. So I hope this makes sense. We are 45 minutes in. I'm going to quickly skip through here. We've been through that one. We have a big convention happening in Florida on August the 18th and 19th. It's called This Is It Convention. It is basically the core fundamentals of the 331 system. It is a full packed Saturday, and there is a 3.5-hour session on Friday night. There's still tickets available to the best of my knowledge. If you really want to tap in, if you really want to be able to drink out of the fountain of the system, the core system that 331 is built upon, this is the place to be. I'm definitely going to be there. Julie's going to be there. I know there are other people on this call that want to be there. Why? Because I would like to have the raw input. I would love to be able to immerse myself in this. I don't know whether you guys are familiar with the expression of a sheep dip. Anyone? In Australia, there's a lot of sheep, same in New Zealand. And they have this narrow metal, like almost like they herd all the sheep into a very narrow path. So there's one sheep at the time behind each other. Then there's a little ramp and it leads up to probably a 2 or 3 feet wide by 6 feet long bath of, should we say, chemicals, the best way to say it, to help to prevent parasitic infections and the like. It stinks like nothing. It is ugly, but it has to be done. Otherwise, you will lose half your flock of sheep, and that's not good. So it's ugly. It is time consuming, but I would like to refer to these sorts of events when you have training like this. We are learning from the biggest leaders in LifeWave. that have had massive businesses in other network marketing organizations. These guys know to the T what to say, what to do. You put the right structure in place in this. For example, if you have a number of managers in each team, you will have a certain level that you will reach. If you want stability in your business, upgrade, help 3 to 6 of those leaders reach the director level, and it becomes a very, very predictable result. There are some amazing numbers, but when you know that you know these numbers, then all you have to do, you have the roadmap. They're showing us the roadmap. And I'm so excited by going there. Because if I can have 3 people, 5 people, 10 people from our team that Julie and I have personally introduced, if you can have them with us down there, that will be like having a solid fuel rocket booster go off. Because you cannot come out of these meetings without actually being fired up. It's not possible. It is not possible.
Knut, I'm going to jump in again real quick if you go back to the other. This is Wednesday. Southwest has a fair sale on right now through tomorrow. You might check southwest.com because you could probably possibly get flights into Tampa a little more inexpensively. And the This Is It convention, if you go on to This Is It, what is the website? thisisitconvention.com. Is that
Yep.
what it is?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
You may find that they still have blocks of rooms at local hotels. And this conference is very close to the Tampa airport. It's really convenient. And there's 10 of us going. Let's see if another 10 of you want to jump on board. Honestly, it's going to be a big party, you guys. Really, it will, with a bunch of us.
And be prepared, absolutely. But be prepared. Come in with fresh notebooks.
Yep.
Be prepared. Pack your food. And be prepared to learn. This is you're in a room with, I don't know, 500-600 people, and it will be like learning via osmosis. You will suck it up, you will lap it up, and a week later you go, hang on, these words came out of my mouth. Where did they come from? Well, guess what? They came from the event the week before.
Yeah.
Seriously, I cannot overemphasize how this will really launch. Because this is in the middle of the August, and you still got the rest of August, and you got September before convention. You want to fuel this? Oh man alive, this is something that will definitely set you up. Finally, the global convention. If you haven't got yourself tickets, get them. Your upline, the person who introduced you, can refer you to our website. I think there's still, I don't know, on this website, on this link, the fees are still the early bird rate, which I think is incredible. But hey, I'll take them. And there's also an extra block of hotel rooms open up at the Hilton. The Hyatt itself is full, but there is at the Hilton, which is just a walkway across from the hotel, they still have a room, a block of rooms available to LifeWave participants at this function. This is where the company will set up 2024. The company is 20 years old next year. That's number one. Number two, you meet people from all walks of life. You meet people from your own team and from your upline's greater team. That's important because now we're beginning to see that we are a team when the rising sea lifts all boats. And number three, there will be new product announcements. And I'm super excited. I have some inclinations as I know what's going to happen, and I'm just super excited. David Schmidt, the CEO, kind of whispered something when we were in Aruba in April, May, and he kind of teased us with a new product name, and yeah, I'm super excited. He called it LifeWave Water. That's all I'm going to say about that. But he said you wake up in the morning and you have a drink of your LifeWave water. So I am super excited. We have team members flying in from Europe, from Norway. There's a couple of our team members in Australia. They're seriously considering coming over and attending in person. that doesn't work, well, come on in on the virtual. Be there or be square, that's all I can say. There's also a meeting in Costa Mesa. I don't have the details on the screen for that, but if you know someone in and around Costa Mesa, please reach out to your upline and they will be able to facilitate information about that, so you can invite people yourself or attend that meeting. And finally, there are some extra events happening in and around. I think there's 3 locations announced. One is in Atlanta, one is in I can't remember. I won't say that, but I shared a picture on the Telegram channel, on the youthing channel. The details for Atlanta came out this morning. I shared that, and I'm eagerly awaiting the information about the 2 other sites. So they are happening in the next 2 or 3 weeks. If you're in and around that area, or you know people in and around that area, do everything you can to invite them to attend. They will be well looked after, but they will get an absolutely amazing introduction to what this business can do.
We'll also be putting that on the Telegram channel for youthing, and those of you on the 90-day challenge also there. Again, Eric Worre, one of the top network marketers in the world, said, the income producing activity that will pay you the most in your career is promoting events, getting your team to events. They catch the fire and take off. So that's your 331 is learning how to go through this system. It's also you stepping up and promoting all these events. Get your team there.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording.